welcome to Policing TV, and welcome to this second video in a series of three with Dr. Amanda Davies. Dr. Amanda, we spoke in video one about your background, extensive background in policing academia, and not just in the UAE and in the Gulf region, also across Australasia. This second video, we're going to focus on your current research and publication work that you're doing for the Oxford University Press, where you are the guest editor for a special issue on simulation-based learning for police education. Before we get on to that, I just want also to acknowledge that you were the guest editor for a special edition with the Oxford University Press on Abu Dhabi police. And that is available for not just viewers of Policing TV, but for others to view and read, I understand.
That's absolutely correct, Bernard. It is open access within the journal, so it is available to all of those who would be interested to read those. Interestingly, that particular edition with Abu Dhabi Police is very interesting, covers a number of different areas within Abu Dhabi Police, and it was published by Oxford University Press, both in the English language and in the Arabic language, which was an absolute first for the journal. And it means then that it's available to a wider audience also.
Superb. The present day work that you're doing. I mentioned it's looking at simulation-based learning for police education. And very much an international perspective. So please do tell us about that.
Thank you, Bernard, for this opportunity. It's a really interesting process that we've been undertaking in regards to this special edition. Simulation approach to education for police is not new. It has been around for centuries potentially. However, there's less available in the open access area of sharing this information about how simulation is being used to train police officers, what the outcomes are, how it's advanced, because we take the advances in the entertainment world, the serious games world, and we build those into simulations for preparing potentially officers who are new to the field of policing, but also those that have been in policing for a number of years, preparing them particularly to tackle some of the new crime typologies that have come to the surface, particularly since COVID-19, when, as we in the policing world know, the criminal fraternity moved from the street to the online and developed a lot of different crime typologies that the police are now having to tackle and to mitigate. So the approach to simulation use for police education, we've identified, is being used in police organisations across the world. In this particular simulation, we have papers from Australia, from Sweden, from the UK, from Canada, from New Zealand, and they all tell a different story. But what they have in common is that they talk to the benefits of using simulation to train police officers and for frontline officers generally. And the articles also talk to the different ways in which these organisations have approached the use of simulation-based learning and the outcomes. So to be realistic, not always does it work well, and that's all part of the learning journey. And sharing it with other police communities around the world builds the whole of educational knowledge and skills for that global policing community. And that's really the aim of the special edition, is about enhancing the global police community education.
Several dimensions to this paper and this research, are there not? There's the international element, and you've described there the several national and jurisdictional aspects that are coming in here. There's the applicability of simulation-based learning to a number of different aspects of policing. It's not just one aspect of policing that this is relevant to. It's many. and bringing all that insight from um, several different contributors together in a single publication, which then allows those around the world interested in simulation-based learning for police education the opportunity to hear from these different experts from around the world. So it sounds as if it's going to be a very powerful paper when published.
I think it has the ability to provide knowledge to, as we say, the global policing community across a diverse array of areas in which simulation is being used. For example, there's a paper about the use of mock court to simulate prosecutions within a court to help the police recruits understand how that works and what their role is, and potentially give them some confidence in this area before they go out into the field and may potentially have to step into court cases. There's a paper about how we train and prepare officers for policing mental health incidents. There's one for preparing officers to develop briefs of evidence. And that's quite an interesting paper because briefs of evidence, of course, are so very crucial when we're talking about prosecution of alleged offenders. And that particular paper talks about how not only is the brief of evidence in itself a simulation, but the whole of the course is a simulation that the students step through during their education. There's, as one might expect, there's some physical ones as well. So we've got driver simulation. That's coming from Europe. And we've got the approach in using simulation-based learning in terms of standards. So what sort of standards should be in place when we're developing simulation exercises within the policing domain? So as you can appreciate, and that's only a few. As you can appreciate, it is very diverse, interesting, but it also importantly offers opportunity for police organisations to review these examples and understand whether in fact they might be able to use those in part or in whole in their own organisations, or potentially benchmarks. So they may already have driver simulations, they might already have simulations that prepare officers for policing mental health. So it has two strands to it, and we're trusting and hoping that it will be really helpful and useful to the policing community.
When you, as the individual who is pulling these papers together, when you read these papers, do you look at them and read them sometimes and think, well, that particular jurisdiction, there's little actually that's of interest to other jurisdictions, or is it universally the case that each and every jurisdiction has much of great interest to the wider policing related community? I guess what I'm asking here um, is are different jurisdictions unique in their nature with little to teach others, or are they perhaps distinctive in their nature but with much of interest to provide to others?
It's an interesting question. The basis of it is that there are fundamental policing knowledge and skill areas that are required across the globe. The papers bring knowledge that fills gaps. So we look to, in the journals and in the articles, the papers that identify how they're filling a gap in that global knowledge. So the articles have a literature review. The authors have investigated what's known about the particular topic around the world, and then what it is that they can contribute. So we look at those articles potentially from a practitioner view. What can they offer to the officer on the front line? What can they offer to those in decision-making roles in policing organisations? And then how do they fill the gap? And then is that research, as I mentioned earlier, is it replicable in any jurisdiction, either in part or in whole? And how can it support those policing jurisdictions in their endeavours to educate and train their police officers?
So, at what point is this work, and how will those watching this video on Policing TV be able to access the material once published?
The material will be published in the Oxford University Press. The Oxford University Press has a unique process whereby when each journal article has been accepted for publication, they immediately place it up onto their website, so it's immediately available. When they have all of the papers that are due for that collection or that issue together, then they also publish it online as a complete collection with the guest editorial. However, what is really valuable for the policing fraternity is the fact that those papers go up straight away once they've been accepted and proved, and that makes it very timely and current, because sometimes the research is undertaken and it is about a current issue, and so you'd like to see it published as soon as possible. In terms of access to these articles, generally speaking, they are open access, which means that, as we mentioned earlier, anyone would be able to go onto the journal website, the Policing Journal of Policy and Practice, and be able to access those. Yes.
So, the Oxford University Press website, perhaps search for you as guest editor and or papers on simulation-based learning. The material will be theirs to for those interested in learning more about that material. And of course, I suspect through that, should those watching this wish to discuss aspects in more detail with you, they'll find your contact details there and be able to make that contact with you. Um, Amanda, thank you so much. The second of our three videos talking about the research and the guest editorship that you've had on a special issue, Oxford University Press issue on simulation-based learning. We're going to take a pause here at the end of this second video, and then record in a moment a third video looking at some of the challenges and opportunities, drawing on your experience across many jurisdictions worldwide. So, for the time being, Dr. Amanda Davies, thank you so much. We'll now press ahead and record the third video. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Bernard.